Welcome to Sat Sangat Astrology. This video is about the Leo solar eclipse happening August the 12th, 2026. So just to get started, I need to explain what a solar eclipse is. And it is when the moon is between the earth and the sun at a certain geometrical point where they can be aligned in one line. Every month we have a new moon, right? And we don't have an eclipse. Is because they join in a straight line at the nodes or very close to the nodal axis. And what is the node? The nodes of the moon are the intersection between the orbit of the moon and the orbit of the Earth around the sun. So at those 2 points is where the eclipses happen. So this is a very summary of what it is. But if you like to dive deep, very deep into what the nodes are and the eclipses are and how to interpret and understand them, so you can take a course with me, Introduction to Astrology, where I explain every detail about the astrology. So the Leo solar eclipse, as I said, will take place, is already, the season of the eclipses is already on active, right? Already starting at the closing square of the previous lunar cycle. So from the 5th, around the 5th of August, we are already entering the season of the eclipses. So eclipses are kind of a wild card of the astrology because they have this Uranian energy where anything can happen except what we expect. So usually there are evolutionary moments in our lives where we tend to make decisions, changes, things come to a head, things, there is a culmination or completion of a chapter in our life and the start of a new chapter, things that are really, we look back at eclipse seasons in previous years, and you might remember, for example, we had eclipses in Leo in 2017. If you remember, there was an eclipse at the end of Leo, the last degree of Leo or something in 2017, which the shadow of the eclipse crossed the United States. Okay, that was one 9 years ago. 9 years previous to that, it was 2008. Of course, the nodes are reversed in 2017 compared to today, and they are the same in 2008. So if you look back to those years, you probably will identify themes related to those eclipses in Leo. So visit memory lane in order to understand what subjects in your life, what kind of life experiences may be related to the Leo house in your horoscope, your birth chart. You can also use the progressed chart. You can also use the solar return, and apply the eclipse to those charts as well. So there are many ways in which you can better understand what an eclipse may bring for you. Okay, here is the chart, and we will analyze it in depth. So one of the things that you immediately see is this configuration, right? The ascendant is in Scorpio, so especially for the United States, the ascendant is located in the 12th house. So meaning that if you live in the region around Washington, D.C., then you will have the same ascendant. If you live in other places in the country or in another country, you need to cast the chart for the time, for the same time the eclipse happens. And well, the time that it happens in your location, and then find out what the rising sign will be and what will be the prominence house that will come ahead, so you can you showing you that you need to focus on that house themes, right? And the themes, for example, for the United States Sibley chart, Scorpio is the 12th house, so hidden things, things that are in the collective unconscious will come out in the open for better understanding. Okay, and this is how you interpret. And then you may have also consider, for example, what natal planet is rising in the eastern horizon, and that planet will be prominent for you personally. So suppose that you live in Washington, D.C., and you have a Venus on the Venus in Sagittarius, or Venus at the end of Scorpio, right? So then for you, Venus will be rising for this chart. So applied your natal planet to the transit of the Leo solar eclipse, and that Venus will be the prominent planet for you for this eclipse. Meaning, of course, that Venus is the planet of money, resources, beauty, art, love, romantic love, and all the desires, purchases, and such, right? So that's one of the ways you analyze how the eclipse may affect you. Okay, so I'm going to explain other ways as well. But for this configuration, we have kind of two kites here. You have, this is the base of the kite. Let's say the support of the kite is formed by Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus in sextile is the small triangle. And then Uranus and Pluto make a grand trine with Venus. So Venus and Neptune are opposite, and this is forming a kite. So the other kite is formed by Uranus. Here is, let's see. The sun in Mercury is in opposition with Pluto, and is with a wide orb in conjunction with Jupiter. So Mercury is opposing Pluto and forming a grand trine again with Venus and Uranus. So, and Pluto and Venus are at the tail of each respective kites. So this means that they are triggers for events, right? Usually, when there is a catastrophe or when there is a huge, for example, airplane accident or earthquake or explosions or things that are catastrophic, usually they are coinciding with kites. So these are two kites, and Venus and Pluto are the triggers. They are the tail of the kite. If you see in my picture where I am here, you see the kite. Well, the base, the tail is the lower part, right? And it's supposed to keep the kite flying, and that is one of the ways that the kite is kept stable in the air while you fly the kite, right? But kites are very unstable configurations, as it is any kite that you fly actually physically in the sky. So this means that there is a lot of instability in this chart. So there is also another configuration involving another small triangle between Mercury, Uranus, and Neptune. So Mercury, Uranus, and Neptune are forming another small triangle. So making this an envelope figure. So one of the things that we can use in order to understand this complex configuration, because it's very hard to interpret. But departing from the very, very basis, you can see the signs, the nature of the signs that are involved. In this case, they are fire, Leo, Aries, and air, Jupiter, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So the three air signs and two of the fire signs. Plus, if you have planets at the beginning of Sagittarius, then you may have the formation of what is called the star, the hexagon. Which is a very stable configuration, because here this envelope may be favorable in the sense that it stabilizes the energy between fire and air. However, fire and air burns. And as you can see from several weeks ago, there are many places in the world that are taken by fire, and they are huge, they are enormous, they are gargantuan. The colossal fires that have never been seen in our lives, right? So, and especially because there are multiple huge fires like that in multiple countries. So this is kind of a phenomenon that I think is very well archetypally related to what we have in the sky. So, and we only have, if we count only traditional planets, we only have Mars in water. So when we don't have any Earth, because in order to count elements, we only count the traditional, let me see if I'm recording. Yes. we only have the traditional planets. So we don't have any Earth. We don't have any pied-à-terre. We don't have any anchor that we can say we have a certain stability. So even though this envelope may offer a certain degree of stability, it will be a stability for the fires. So, and those fires have been demonstrated to be very hard to work with and put off. So they are persistent. And this is what we see in the chart. There is this persistence. So all of that, before going to the actual eclipse, you need to see the context of the chart, right? You need to see the ascendant, where the signs that are occupied, the kind of energy is, if it is mutable, if it is fixed or cardinal. In this case, we have Uranus in mutable energy, but that's the only one, the only mutable energy. Otherwise, we have the eclipse in fixed sign, Pluto, and the North Node in fixed sign. We also have Saturn and Neptune in a cardinal sign, as well as Venus in a cardinal sign. So we have fixed and we have cardinal, and we have some mutable, which is Uranus, that per se it is already changing. Uranus can be now, I don't know, doing something, and 10 minutes later, another thing different. So Uranus is intermittent. So it is changing. So it has affinity with mutable energy. Anyways, so then we have the potential for changes, radical changes, cardinal sign, but we also have the potential for stubbornness and stability and not willing to change. We have Mars in cardinal sign as well, and we will talk specifically about Mars because something very special in this chart. But this is to give you the general context, and now we are going to put the eclipse in this context. So the eclipse is at 20 degrees of Leo. Leo, as I said, is a fixed sign. And we have a solar eclipse, meaning that an eclipse of the sun is covering the sun. So it's eclipsing, is letting go of the sun for some time while the eclipse lasts, right? I'm looking at my notes, but one more thing regarding the envelope. I wrote regarding the envelope configuration, the oppositions Venus, Neptune, Pluto, Pluto, Mercury. So they are the oppositions marked in red lines here. The oppositions broaden the perspective, right? They give us the opportunity to look at things as they are. And they are also the maximum potential of their cycle. So the Venus-Neptune cycle, we need to go back to the time when when Venus was together in conjunction with Neptune. they they kissed together, right? And they said, well, we're going to do this in the sign of Aries, and in the house occupied by Aries in your chart. And now the Venus has traveled 90 degrees. Now it is at 180 degrees, which is the maximum expression of the deal they have made back when they were together. So look back a few months ago, and see when they were conjunct, and now there is the maximum potential, except that having a kite configuration may be dramatic. The same thing for the cycle Pluto Mercury that is opposing here. Mercury is the manifesting, showing us the maximum expression of the cycle Mercury Pluto. So look back and see what started in the sign of Aquarius. Um, so so then we have a broader perspective that clarifies our mind about what these cycles mean for us personally. And it calls for integrating the energies, right? If we say Mercury is communication and Pluto is power, the power of the word, the power of the message, right? Then we have this. The need to balance, right? Are we manipulating? Are we obsessive about communication? Are we saying the truth? All those things that we need to see how they complement each other. Is now Mercury in Leo is bombastic, is in the center of stage, showing off what he knows and telling everybody. And with Pluto, actually, frankly, Mercury and Pluto are very raw in communication, right? They don't mind words. They say the truth, and there could be discoveries for you, revelations, understandings that you didn't have before, right? So the sextiles soften and channel the tension, making it dynamic. So the trines provide stability. So let's go one by one. The opposition between Venus and Neptune, usually Venus and Neptune mean that we are kind of confused about the values we have. We may be misled or deceived by money issues or in romantic love relationships. So we might have had an idea of a certain relationship, and now we realize, now we have full understanding. It's like having a full moon, right? Now we have, with respect to Neptune, we have a full Venus. So, and in that way, Venus is projecting over this Venus the deceptions or disillusionment. So then the envelope also fosters mutual aid, self-expression, movement, and social interaction. Of course, there is this social interaction that could go awry because there's a lot of fire, and the air provides oxygen for the fire. So The combination of tense and harmonious aspects enables a constructive use of the energy, allowing for a fluid transition between this confrontation and resolution. So the struggles gently transform into liberation. So let's hope for the best, especially in international affairs. So remember the eclipse falls in the ninth house of the U.S. Chart, and ninth house is international affairs. So hopefully there is something that gives in or gives out, right? Because something got to give, right? We cannot go button heads all the time until everybody is dead, right? There is something that has to give. And we have the South Node in Leo, which gives us hope for release, for letting go of the obsessions. As I said, just release the pressure. And regarding the solar eclipse, as I said, figures that are very center stage, celebrities, authorities of great rank, they might be done with because of this sun eclipse, right? So the moon, which is the people, are letting go of those in higher rank, I don't know, heads of states. It could be kings, prime ministers, presidents, governors, who knows? Or it could be celebrities of the, the jet set, or other personalities that have a lot of charisma, that have a lot of showing off power, and some people in the entertainment industry that could be prominent, maybe going away in some manner. Okay, so this is what, in general, solar eclipse may bring. But in your life, you need to look at what house is Leo, what house is Cancer because of the moon, right? And in which place 20 degrees falls. Do you have any planets there? If you don't, then the effect may be less for you. But specifically, the house will be affected due to the fact the presence of the nodal axis in Aquarius North Node, Leo South Node. So in general, for the year, 1 year and a half until end of 2027, when the nodes will enter Cancer and Capricorn, there is some things that you will have to let go, and in the sign of Leo. So there is South Node works as the drain in our life, a drain of energy. So there are things that don't they're not good for you anymore, and they either are let go by you, or they are removed from your life. It could be anything. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, depends on your chart. So in order to find out the effect for you personally, you will have to order an astrological consultation that is private, confidential, and very specific for you. Okay, so as I said, it affects also the sign of Cancer. So look at both houses. So in in reality, since this chart, every element in this chart is connected to every other element. So your whole chart probably will be activated and lit up like a Christmas tree. So, what else about the eclipse? Okay, so let's go back to Mars in Cancer. So Mars in Cancer responds to the moon, which is the eclipser, right? Is the agent of the eclipse. So Mars is here at 0 degrees Cancer, joined by Ceres. And let me explain about the outer bounds, because Mars is out of bounds from the 3rd to the 27th of August. And I will explain what outer bounds is. So the bounds of the sun are 23 degrees 26 minutes north of the celestial equator and 26 degrees south of the equator. So, or equator. So the celestial equator is 0 declination. And declination is more related to the latitude, as you see here, is the distance from the equator south or north, right? Where the sun goes, for example, in the northern hemisphere, the sun seems to travel north, which is not true, but I will have to explain a lot of astronomy for you. I hope you have the essentials of astronomy. Anyways, so seems the sun seems to go to the Tropic of Cancer. And when the summer in the southern hemisphere, this sun seems to be by the Tropic of Capricorn. So those are the bounds of the sun. So when a planet goes away from that limit, right, when it goes farther than 23 degrees 26 minutes, it is said that is out of bounds, out of the bounds or the rules of the sun. So it is said that it has its own rules, and it works. It could work extremely positively or extremely negatively. So this is the case of Mars. If you remember I think November to January last year, November 2025 to January 2026, Mars was out of bounds. So these are the behaviors that we can observe for Mars. And I let you read particular details, but it is extreme bravery, extreme assertion or violence, right? Intense passion. And in the negative side, it could be warrior-like, impulsive, brutally violent. It could be sexually aggressive, dominant, using excessive force and a potent aggression. So as you see, it ranges from working hard or harder than normal, right? Because Mars is the worker, but Mars is also the warrior, and the warrior can be extreme as well. So these are the traits of Mars. I can read some of them. Mars out of bound may like reckless adventures, may be selfish, may be quick to answer, very irritable, and frequent outbursts. And another thing that you need to consider with Mars out of bounds is that you may feel irritable, but and this happened to me last year when Mars was for so many months in Cancer. I had a severe stomach irritation. I couldn't eat anything because even water will irritate my stomach. So that's one of the manifestations. And I guess it's because of anxiety probably that is also stimulated by Mars. Mars is associated with irritation and not being happy about things unless he works, he does something, right? So Mars, here you see the declination chart, and Mars is declination north out of bounds. But the other thing is that Pluto is at the limit already. Pluto will be out of bounds starting on on the very day of the eclipse. I'm not sure if it is already out of bounds. No, it is at exactly the limit, 23 degrees, 26 minutes south. So it is at the boundary, and after that, on the 12th, on the very same day, will go out Pluto. So what does this mean? If you see the pink numbers here is the declination for these two planets. They are contra-parallel. It means that they are in a similar aspect to opposition. So you see by longitude, which is the chart is longitude. So with Pluto and Mars seem not to have any aspect, at least not yet, because it could be 145, 135 degrees later on, or 150, let's see. Yeah, 150. When Mars reaches the 4 degrees of Cancer, it will be quincunx, but it's not yet there. But that is the longitude aspect. And which means that they are not really agreeing in anything, and they need to adjust to each other. But this contra-parallel is a stronger aspect between Mars and Pluto, and it means that Mars out of bounds is butting heads, and Pluto is the power, the resistance. So there is a kind of a confrontation between giving and giving and giving, attacking and going and going to what we want and what we desire and the passion and obsessions that we have, but Pluto is the one who has the power. Okay, so and think about the world events, wars, etc., where there is one side that is insisting in attacking, irritating, and fiercely violent, and the other part that is asserting its power. So this is the representation of the declination contra-parallel between Mars and Pluto. Okay, so Not only that, but Mars is the world point, the zero cardinal sign. And that's not only that, but is also conjunct Ceres. Okay, let's talk about Ceres. First of all, the sign of Cancer is a sign uh, of the crab, of the home, the mother, the home country. So Mars in Cancer talks about protecting my home country, protecting my mom, my family, mine, right? And my security and my safety, my shelter. So Mars is very defensive in this sign. But what happens with Ceres? So Ceres is talking about the feeding, the food that we need to sustain ourselves, is the nutrition that we need in our home country, in our family, in our house. It's like the mother figure. But according to Demetria George, and this is something that triggered my research about Ceres, she says that Ceres, the goddess Ceres in the antiquity, that she was in charge of the rituals for the dead. So she was in charge of, preparing the dead for, I don't know, the burial, doing the rituals, I don't know, the ceremonies that are dedicated to the dead. And as a goddess, she was like ushering the dead to their place, their destiny on the other side. So she was like a priestess, let's say, that she was guiding the dead. And I have been following the transit of Ceres and the aspects that she makes, and exploring the events with which she relates when she makes aspects. And I have noticed that she is present oftentimes coinciding with mass death. See that she has the sickle glyph, right? And she, as well as Mars that has the edge, the knife, right? She also cuts. So in a way, if you think about the sickle, the Dark Ripper, she comes with a sickle. Saturn also comes, which represents death, also comes with a sickle. So start associating this archetype with what Mars is doing, what Saturn does, what Pluto does. And if you like, if you are an astrologer, keep watching series and see if you find some relationship with that. But this conjunction Mars Ceres is very symbolic in that way because Mars is saying, I make war I kill others to protect my family, to protect my country. And I think because Mars is at a world point, the war may spread broader and maybe actually global, where many countries might get involved. And Ceres is indicating that there will be mass death. Pluto in Aquarius also is showing signs since Pluto moved into Aquarius in 2023. We have seen many mass death. So let's observe and correlate with the astrology and see what this means, right? Because there are configurations and things that are happening now astrologically associated with events that are happening globally and in our personal lives that we have never seen before. So, as the ancient astrologers did, they would observe the sky and they would correlate with what is happening on the earth. So we may do the same thing. Okay, so that's one of the things. So Mars Ceres conjunction, according to the explanation that Demetria George gives in her book, Goddess, Asteroid Goddess. You cannot see the book. You can't see it. But it's called Asteroid Goddesses, the Mythology, Psychology, and Astrology of the Re-Emerging Feminine. So she says there is a need for independence, liberation, and autonomy stemming from having been subjugated by family, by the Mother Earth, the home country, right? It also may feel incompetent, inadequate, or powerless to act, right? Mars and Ceres may feel incompetent, inadequate, or powerless to act, compelled to care for or defend others and to fulfill a nurturing or caretaking role. So instead of war, maybe what we should choose is to care for the home country, to care for our people, to service. Mars in Cancer is defensive. So maybe we can service, we can protect our families. Okay. So, now, we have Pluto out of bounds starting August the 12th, and it goes until December the 10th. So we have September, October, November, December, 4 months of Pluto out of bounds. So if you haven't, you probably want to read Rosie Finn book, Persephone's Revolution, which is, she published it, I think, in 2024. And she spent 10 years researching Pluto out of bounds. She finally realized that when Pluto is out of bounds south, like it is now, there is revolutions for independence. And this happens last in between 1777 and 1798. It was a period of the French Revolution. So it is a highly revolutionary and rebellious period. It's a period when people said we've had enough. There is an attitude of that's it. My patients came to this, and we don't tolerate anymore. If you remember the French Revolution, you understand what I mean. So it might swing to extremes, and there could be heated social reforms, right? Aquarius energy is the collective, the society. So this is what Pluto is transforming in Aquarius. So it might go very extreme, like during the French Revolution. You remember that by 1793, I think it was the Reign of Terror, where there was blood flowing through the streets like a river. So, and decapitations and such, it was a terrible time. And unfortunately, after all that violence, people came back to the same old ways. With Napoleon, there was a king before, and then Napoleon that wanted to be emperor and such and such. So revolutions don't actually mean that revolutions by Pluto and Aquarius doesn't mean that it will be complete liberation forever and ever and ever. However, one of the things is that Pluto will never be out of bounds north as before. So for thousands of years, Pluto will stay within bounds, meaning that the power will be within the reigns of the sun. Anyways, I don't know what that means because in the whole history of humanity, Pluto has been either out of bounds north in Leo or out of bounds south in Aquarius, oscillating between tyranny, dictatorship, and the powers, extreme power to extreme revolutions and going back and forth and back and forth. So what would the Pluto within bounds or stable, mean? We don't know. So we will need to keep observing and correlating. I will not be alive to do that because probably in 2040, when Pluto moves to Pisces, I will be dead. Anyways, uh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is Mercury opposing Pluto. So the great powers may be manipulating communications, seeking an escape because of telling something that is not true. So Pluto likes to dig deep and also reveal, right? And Mercury helping Pluto goes and is the tell the tale, right? So the other sextiles and trines, we have already analyzed those in previous videos. I don't want to repeat myself because you probably have heard to the being tired and fatigued about the famous basket. Okay, so we have also um, Mercury applying to the conjunction with Jupiter, which means that whatever Mercury is learning from Pluto at this point of the eclipse, it will spread all over the world when he joins Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything that Mercury speaks or writes or communicates. So it will be everywhere. So you will not be spared about the truth So maybe some truth from your life will be spread out. Hopefully, your truths are good truths and you won't have any problems. Otherwise, you may have a problem. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to tell you about this. Especially, I wanted to help you understand that having Mars out of bounds is kind of dangerous. Having Pluto out of bounds, every year it will be out of bounds around the time, around between July, August, and December, November, December, for 10 years, since 2025 to 2035. Okay, so I thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your kindness, giving it a like and sharing the video. So good luck with this eclipse, and don't hesitate to comment or ask me questions. So see you for the next eclipse, which is a lunar eclipse in Pisces. Goodbye now.